I'll get it.
You'll have to find it first.
Hello? Hello? Oh, hello, Miss Belk. What? Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry. Yes, I am. I'm terribly serious. No, that isn't necessary. No, I'll be able to take care of that myself, yes. No, there's no need for you to do that, Miss Belk. Please, I'll be right over. Yes.
Bobby?
Yeah.
What's he done now?
He jumped up on the new one's high chair and puked all over the tray.
He's even more sensitive than we knew.
Yeah, there's more.
What do you mean?
There was a bird's head in it.
In what?
The puke. Everybody's sick over there. The kid's screaming his head off. She's going to call the police. I've got to get over there.
All right, what about Bobby?
He's fine. Puked and ran. Right out the window.
Good for him.
You stay here. I'll be right back.
Well, you just tell her she'd put screens in her windows like normal people. This sort of thing wouldn't happen. And as for you, Bobby De Niro, good for you.
Right of Way. A bleak tapestry of love, loss, and the fight for dignity in old age. Right of Way, the 1983 HBO made-for-television film, remains a poignant and often overlooked entry in the filmographies of two legendary actors, James Stewart and Bette Davis. More than just a showcase for their formidable talents, the film, directed by George Schaefer and based on the novel by Adele V. Blankfort, is a deeply affecting exploration of themes encompassing aging, love, loss, and the struggle for autonomy in the face of a system that often disregards the elderly. While not possessing the sheer spectacle of some of their earlier more iconic roles, Right of Way showcases Stewart and Davis in a raw and vulnerable light, offering a stark, unflinching portrait of a couple grappling with the harsh realities of their twilight years. The film centers around Frank and Minnie Dwyer, a seemingly ordinary elderly couple residing in a quiet California suburb. Frank, played with a quiet, understated dignity by Stewart, is a retired history teacher, intelligent and introspective, but also fiercely independent and resistant to change. Minnie, portrayed with her characteristic flintiness and unwavering spirit by Davis, is his devoted wife of over 50 years, a woman with a sharp wit and a fiery temperament, but also hiding a deep-seated fear and vulnerability beneath her hardened exterior. Their life, once vibrant and filled with purpose, has slowly been eroded by the creeping realities of aging. Frank, battling a failing heart, refuses to succumb to the limitations imposed upon him by his declining health. He bristles at the patronizing attitudes of doctors and relatives, yearning to retain control over his own destiny. Minnie, meanwhile, grapples with the fear of being left alone should Frank pass away, a fear compounded by her own physical limitations and the encroaching loneliness of their increasingly isolated existence. The catalyst for the film's dramatic turn is the news that Frank requires open-heart surgery. He vehemently refuses, viewing the procedure as a futile attempt to prolong his life artificially, a life he no longer sees as worth living under the constraints imposed by his failing body. He argues, with a quiet but unwavering conviction, that he has lived a full and meaningful life and desires to die with dignity, on his own terms. This decision throws Minnie into a crisis. She loves Frank deeply and cannot bear the thought of losing him. She desperately tries to persuade him to reconsider, appealing to his love for her and his responsibility to stay alive for her benefit. Their conversations, often heated and emotionally charged, are the heart of the film, offering a glimpse into the complex dynamic of a long-term marriage, where love and loyalty are tested by the harsh realities of mortality. As Frank remains steadfast in his refusal, Minnie reluctantly begins to understand and accept his decision. She recognizes his unwavering commitment to his principles and his profound desire to retain control over his own life, even in death. This realization, however, does not alleviate her pain and fear. She still grapples with the prospect of facing the future alone. Their decision to forego the surgery triggers a chain of events that exposes the cold, bureaucratic indifference of the healthcare system and the well-meaning, but often misguided interventions of concerned family members. Frank and Minnie are increasingly subjected to scrutiny and pressure from doctors, social workers, and their own children, all of whom believe they know what is best for them. They are treated like children, their autonomy questioned, their desires dismissed. The system, ostensibly designed to protect the elderly and vulnerable, becomes a source of oppression, stripping them of their dignity and individuality. Frank, in particular, rails against this perceived injustice, arguing that he has the right to make his own decisions, even if those decisions are considered unconventional or unpopular. He sees the intervention as a violation of his fundamental human rights, a denial of his right to self-determination. Driven to desperation, Frank and Minnie make a radical decision. They decide to take their own lives, together, on their own terms. They see this as the only way to escape the encroaching control of the system and to maintain their dignity in the face of inevitable decline. They plan their final days meticulously, settling their affairs, saying goodbye to loved ones, and preparing for their final act. This decision, of course, is deeply controversial and raises complex ethical questions about euthanasia, assisted suicide, and the right to die. The film does not shy away from these complexities, presenting the issue in a nuanced and thought-provoking manner. It does not advocate for suicide, but rather explores the motivations and circumstances that might lead individuals to consider such a drastic measure. Throughout the film, Stewart and Davis deliver masterful performances, imbuing their characters with a depth of emotion and a raw authenticity that is both heartbreaking and inspiring. Stewart's portrayal of Frank is particularly noteworthy. He captures the character's quiet dignity, his intellectual curiosity, and his unwavering commitment to his principles with a subtle grace that is both moving and powerful. He manages to convey the character's inner turmoil and his growing frustration with the limitations imposed upon him by his failing health without resorting to melodrama or sentimentality. He embodies the quiet resilience of a man determined to maintain his autonomy until the very end. Davis, as Minnie, is equally impressive. She brings her characteristic feistiness and sharp wit to the role, but also reveals the character's underlying vulnerability and fear. She portrays Minnie as a woman torn between her love for Frank and her own desire for survival. She captures the character's internal conflict with a raw intensity that is both captivating and emotionally resonant. She epitomizes the strength and fragility of a woman facing the unthinkable prospect of losing her lifelong partner. The supporting cast also delivers strong performances, contributing to the overall realism and emotional impact of the film. Priscilla Morrill as the intrusive social worker, John Harkins as the well-meaning but ultimately insensitive doctor, and Kate Reid and Tom Skerritt as their concerned but somewhat clueless children, all contribute to the film's portrayal of the challenges faced by the elderly and their families. While Right of Way is a bleak and often disturbing film, it is also a deeply moving and ultimately life-affirming one. It reminds us of the importance of respecting the autonomy and dignity of the elderly, of listening to their voices, and of understanding their fears and desires. It encourages us to confront our own mortality and to consider the choices we might make in the face of declining health. The film doesn't offer easy answers to the complex ethical questions it raises. Instead, it invites us to grapple with these questions ourselves, to consider the different perspectives involved, and to develop our own understanding of what it means to live and die with dignity. In conclusion, Right of Way is a powerful and thought-provoking film that explores the complex issues of aging, love, loss, and the right to die. It is a film that deserves to be seen and discussed, not only for its exceptional performances by James Stewart and Bette Davis but also for its poignant and unflinching portrayal of the challenges faced by the elderly in a society that often overlooks their needs and disregards their desires. It's a film that resonates with a timeless message, that every individual, regardless of age or health, has the right to make their own choices and to live and die with dignity and autonomy. Right of Way is a stark reminder that true compassion lies not in controlling others, but in respecting their choices, even when those choices are difficult to understand or accept. The film is a testament to the enduring power of love, the importance of autonomy, and the inherent dignity of the human spirit, even in the face of death.